In this segment, I'm going to talk a little bit about some applications that are in your computer. One of the things that I'm sure you know is that your computer has this. I have it at the bottom. It's called the dock, where a lot of applications that you want to get to quickly are stored. You can also put this dock on either side if you want to, simply by going into System Preferences and doing that. But what I really want to get to now is the Finder. The Finder is this application that looks like a weird smiling face. And if you click on it, you'll get something that looks like this. This is very similar. If you're a Windows guy, it's very similar to a Windows Explorer, but it has a number of things in it that you might find useful. If you click down here, I have Darth's MacBook. I told you that everything I do has a Star Wars reference. And Darth's MacBook is the name of this book, and this is what's in it. The hard drive, the network, and the remote disk, which is not currently in it, but yours probably has this remote disk as well. I don't have one that I'm using right now. This is the same hard drive and the same remote disk. The Mac Mini here is another computer that I have connected to my network. And if you look up here at the top, you'll see a number of other files. For example, I can click on Dropbox, and this is not all the files that are in my cloud Dropbox, but these are the ones that I have on my computer here. Documents, there's all sorts of different files here. The one I really want to go to right now, though, is applications. I would like to show you some of what's in here. So I have a lot of applications in my folder, and if you look, you'll see a lot of these you will have in yours as well. A lot of them you won't. You'll probably have some in yours that I don't have in mind. I find them all useful at some time. Anything that I don't use in a year, I generally toss away because just don't need it. If you don't use it in a year, you probably don't need it. But I particularly want to go to this folder right here that says Utilities. I'm going to double click on that and open it and show you just a couple of things that are in here. And the very first one is maybe one of the most useful ones. It's called Activity Monitor. And I've actually got it open already. I pretty much keep it open because it's so interesting and it helps a lot. For example, if you've ever been sitting around and your computer all of a sudden gets really hot on the bottom and your legs start burning, it probably means that there's a stuck application in your computer that's using up way too much computer time and way too much of your CPU. You can find that out right here. And here, for example, if you click on the CPU column, this shows you every process that's running in your Mac. And as you can tell, there are a lot of them. You may think you've only got a couple of things running. Guess what? There's probably a couple of hundred or more items running in your Mac. And this is a visual representation of the health of your Mac at any particular moment. So if you want to know what some of these are, all you have to do is click on it. For example, Activity Monitor, which is the one that we have open right now. And click on this button. This is information, and it'll tell you everything that you want to know about it. It'll tell you how much memory it's using, what open files and ports, what it's using, what resources inside your computer that it's using. And if you want to quit, all you have to do is hit the quit button and it'll stop, or you can hit this X button and you can force quit it if you want to. It'll also tell you about memory usage that's in your computer, what programs and what processes are using how much memory. Also tell you what's using the energy in your computer, a little bit about your disk. So there's a lot you can learn about what's going on inside your computer just with this simple little app. some of the other apps that are in your computer, of course. You can see a number of them here. Boot Camp is a very interesting app that you might find useful at some point. This allows you to install Microsoft Windows on your computer. It will partition your hard drive and set a separate place for you to install Windows, and then you can either boot your computer into Windows or you can boot it into Mac operating system when you start your computer, depending on what you want to use. Disk utility is also a very useful application. It allows you to see what's going on your disk. If something doesn't seem to be working right, you can click the first aid button. You can see over here, I don't have anything really connected right now. I only have the one disk that's in my computer. It's an OWC Aura Pro that I just installed. It's an SSD drive, and it's very, very fast and very good. So anyway, you can find out information about it. You can partition it. You can erase it if you want to. You can do any number of things to it. Going down the list, keychain access is where you keep IP addresses and passwords to a number of the websites that you might use and other things as well. This will keep it across several different computers so that any computer you have can actually access this to log in to websites and things if you'd like to use it for that purpose. If we go on down a little bit, system information here is the same one that we looked at up here. It's the same system information as about this Mac. So I'm not going to open that again. I am going to open the terminal because the terminal looks like a cute little box that doesn't have much in it. But in fact, this is the way that you talk to your computer. And in fact, I'm just going to type in help. And you'll see that there are a few zillion commands that pop up here. And this is the way that you can communicate with the actual computer itself without really going through an operating system. I'm just going to play for a minute. I'm going to type in Emacs. And something kind of interesting just popped up, if you can see that. I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to hit X. And then you can tell that my cursor went down here to the bottom. I'm going to type in doctor and hit enter. If you can see this, you can tell that I've now gone to see the psychotherapist. And it says here, please describe your problems. So you can play a lot of different games, and my problem in this case is, let's see, I'm nuts. How about that? Why do you say you're nuts? Well, I'm just nuts. Everybody knows that. I'm not going to go into any more detail on this, but there are a lot of things you can do with this that is really fun. Feel free to play with it as much as you want to. Let's see. Control X and Control C get me out of that. So there's so much that you can do with this as far as communicating with your computer. You can make it do things that it's really not supposed to do. That you can bypass some things in the operating system itself to get it to do things, get your computer to actually operate the way you want it to. Other things about your Finder is you can customize the way it looks. For example, if you go under View, you'll see that you can either hide the sidebar if you want to, like that, or you can show it if you want to. You can change all the things that are on the toolbar. For example, you customize the toolbar, and you'll see up here all of these things. You can change them and customize them any way that you want to. Other things that you can do, you can show view options, and if you want to, for example, You can change the text size in one, and you can change that to default. And you'll see I just changed the text size here, but not much. Let's make it more dramatic. Let's go small with it. And you can see that it's changed pretty dramatically there. Let's go back up to big so that an old guy like me can see it. You can also exchange, or you can also show what the column headers are going to be. You can change those if you want to. Simply by clicking these, you can change date modified. You'll see just showed up. Date created, and what it'll do, it'll tell you the date that these files were actually created, the date that you last opened it. So any kind of information that you need, you can find out. You can change your column headers just by doing that, or you can even right click on them and change it like that also. So there are many ways to do that. Another interesting thing about your Mac is you can do screenshots simply by Shift Command, holding down Shift Command 3 will take a picture of your screen, and it'll pop up down here so you can see that I just took a picture of the screen as you saw it a moment ago. If you wanted to do, we don't want to save that, but you can do Shift Command 4, and then you can take a picture of a part of the screen. So, like, say for instance I wanted to take this. Well, I've just taken a picture of just that. Here it is right here. Here's the picture that I just took. And then you can do, this is new in the latest version of Mac operating system, you can do Shift Command 5, and it gives you some options down here. And the options are the ones that I just showed you. But it'll also allow you to do screen captures, and you can, or screen recording rather, like what I'm doing right now. I'm not using this currently. I'm using this other program, but you can use this if you want, and it allows you to record the entire screen or a part of the screen that you may pick for yourself. So that's new, and it's very helpful. You might enjoy using that. And if you click here, it gives you some options that you might find useful as well. It's a really great little useful addition to the new Mac operating system.